Hello guys, and welcome back to the second episode of Like Father Like Son. As always, I've got my dad here, Mark. Mark, how you doing? You good?
Very, very good.
Awesome. And we just want to say a massive thank you for anyone that listened to the first one. If not, you can always go back on iTunes or YouTube and have a listen. Please subscribe while you're over there so you can always listen to us whenever you want. Is that something that sounds great? I think it does.
I think it sounds great and also horrendous.
You can have us whenever you want.
That just sounds
It sounds
terrible.
weird, doesn't it? It does sound weird. But
people breakfast 3 a.m. Somebody's just listening at 3. No one's listening.
No one's listening. We had our first dislike on the YouTube video. So whoever that was, hope you listened to the second one.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much.
They didn't like you. I feel that.
I actually got an email from someone saying that I was funnier than you. So I feel that's definitely a challenge that we should do, is who's funnier. That's obviously not for this podcast right now. Maybe it's even a YouTube video. I'm just saying things. But I would like to categorically know who people think is funnier, me or you.
And maybe we could do one, who's oldest?
Well,
Maybe
yeah, that's you.
All right, great. We'll do that every week then. Who's oldest? Mark. Great.
And literally, well, then if we just played who's the youngest, then I would win every week.
But we never said that, did we?
That is one of the worst things I've ever heard in my life. That doesn't even make sense. It literally doesn't. Oh yeah, well, I'm older than you.
Right,
that's literally what you did. That was better.
As you know, I'm a little bit emotionally fragile.
I get that. It's been an emotional week emotional couple of weeks for the Ritchie household.
Yes.
As obviously some of you might not know, is that my sister, obviously your daughter, like daughter like son.
No.
Yeah, no. There's no spin-off to this. It's just like father like son. So yeah, she's called Kezia, and she has gone off to Canada for 6 months. She's saying 5. It's basically 6. Bless her little heart. It's 5. She would do that. You'd be like, oh, so how are you feeling about going away for 6 months? It's 5 months.
I mean,
it's
she'll
5.
probably listen to this and be like, it's 5 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll get a phone call or a FaceTime saying, it's 5 months. I can't believe you said that. So yeah, she's gone off to Canada, and she's really enjoying herself. We've spoken to her, but obviously, especially for mum, and especially for you, it's been difficult seeing your daughter leaving.
Well, I think one of my favourite moments was in Heathrow Airport, and we've all got into a little family huddle, and literally...
Makes it sound so weird.
It does actually sound a bit weird now you put it like that. But we're in a little family huddle, and basically there's mum weeping, sobbing her heart out. There's Kezia, little daughter, she's going off to Canada, crying. And I'm not going to try and be the big man. I was crying. My little princess is going to the other side of the world. And it was all getting a little bit chaotic.
Yeah.
And then I saw you, and you literally nothing.
Well, yeah, no, it was obviously sad to see her go, but I'm not going to cry in an airport. Like, it was a bit like, and that, obviously it was sad. Like, you come home and like she's not in a room or anything. But for me, the next day, it's just is what it is. It's like she's not there anymore.
If I was to die right now, you'd be like, well, it was sad, but it's now called Like Son.
And it's me talking for half an hour.
Exactly.
Every other week.
Just like that empty chair where Dad used to be.
Wow. That's so sad.
We've taken a dark turn.
We have taken a very dark turn. So let's get this right back up.
But I don't know if this is going to help. But what was funny is Kezia went through the gate, and then we shot back up from Heathrow up to Nottingham, where we live.
We drove.
Don't stalk us. And basically what happened is that I wanted to go and get my hair cut. So I went to get my hair cut, and I was in the barber's, and my phone pinged, and of course didn't even think about it, and it was Kezia. And basically her flight had been kind of delayed. So I'm in the barber's, and she's like, Dad, that's me going now. Just a couple of things I wanted to tell you before I go. And I started sobbing in the barber's. I was weeping.
Why? Just because, what was the thing she wanted to tell you? Was it just like,
Because
hey,
she actually likes me, unlike you little...
wanted to let you know I've just
She
broken a couple
actually
of
likes
things.
me. She thinks I'm a nice human being, rather than you with your little judging eyes. So
What? It's happened here. So she's texted you saying a couple of things. Is that like, hey, just to let you know I've broken the TV or something?
No, right. That just exactly tells me everything you know. Basically, she was wanting to say why she thinks I'm a good dad. And she said these things.
Was she...
No, she wasn't drunk. And basically, I read them and I started sobbing. Well, in this barber's...
I can already imagine the guy, come on, mate, would you like a hair? Come on, mate, let's sit you down. Would you like is it one on the back and side? Yeah, mate, I'd really appreciate that, actually. Come on, mate, let's get that. What's the thing on? Let's get the apron on. Come on.
The apron.
Is it an apron?
Is that the actual name for it?
What is it called?
I don't know, mate. Stop asking me hairdressing questions.
Come on, mate.
Right, but I've got to say, two things that were funny was, like, honestly, as I started sobbing, every man in that barber's, no one had the emotional tools to deal with sobbing.
What, you're crying?
Exactly. Men were literally looking at the floor.
Yeah.
They didn't know what to do with me.
If you want to come and sit, you can take my place in the queue.
Exactly. Well, that's what I was going to say. A little tip is, if you ever go to a barber's and it's a big queue and you've got to get moving,
have a breakdown.
Yes, it gets you served really fast.
Come on, mate. Let's sit you down.
Honestly, I was on that chair before you could say Jack Robinson.
And I bet he did your hair in record time
he was
as well.
wanting me out of that place. I don't think it was good for business. Do you know what I mean? There's a sobbing man.
The thing is that how was your small talk? Because obviously you go to the hairdressers and they just give you small talk of, so what you doing on the weekend? Or,
I mean, I don't think we're in any place to be throwing rocks about small talk, if I'm going to be honest. We're literally recording small talk. But
like, is it the thing of like, why are you crying, mate? Like, did he come across with that small talk of, come on, mate?
But to be honest, he's not related to me in any way, and he was more compassionate to me than you have been at any point. And
look, mate, she's coming back soon. It's going to be fine.
No, I know. But the second big thing that's happening in my life is that I'm running a marathon.
Okay. I mean, so obviously I've seen you running a little bit. So we actually ran once together. And let's just leave it at, he stopped down the end of the road. And I was a bit like, oh, you're all right. And he was like, yeah, I'm just a bit out of breath. And I'm like, okay, so we are literally down the end of the road of our house. So, okay, fine. And then he was complaining. So, like, he would, like, run for a bit and then just stop and walk and then run for a little bit and then stop and walk.
Right.
Where I kind of, like, actually jogged the whole thing.
Okay.
But then I stopped and I went, oh, okay, cool. I can't really go much further because I've literally ran. Whereas then you went on to continue running and stopping and running and stopping, but you did a little bit more than me, and you're sitting there saying you're a better runner than I am.
Right. I think, like, what I would like to say is that I'm a runner without a runner's body. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm like a runner with a food competitive eating body. Is that a thing? You know those guys that eat loads of donuts? What are they called?
Fat people?
Right. We don't mean that. We don't mean that.
We don't mean that. We don't mean that.
We're sorry about
We don't want to offend anybody.
Anybody, ever.
But, no, I don't know what...
You know,
is there
those guys-
actually people that eat for a living?
Competition eating. And they eat
Like man versus food or whatever?
No, those guys, haven't you heard of this? I'm not even joking. Like, guys that basically eat 5,000 donuts in 28 seconds or whatever.
And you're saying that you're one of them, are you?
Well, I'm not saying
That's
that.
another challenge that we should get on.
Oh.
You trying to eat as much food as you can.
Right. I think we need to move on. But what I would say, I have to say this, that honestly, there's sounds that come out of me when I'm running. So I've got up to about 12 miles.
Okay.
So the other day, like near the end, like, you know, tennis players when they're doing sounds when they're hitting the ball and it can get a bit annoying.
Preview some of those?
I mean, honestly, I was making sounds, a swan turned its head. Do you know what I mean? It was like,
I don't know what that even means.
I mean, I made a sound that the swan was like, "Ooh, steady, tiger." Do you know what I mean?
Please, are you gonna try and?
Well, I mean, I don't want to get into dodgy thin ice, but I make sounds like this.
Okay. Stop, please. Okay.
I never thought you'd have to ask your dad to stop making a sound.
Oh, that was weird. So you're running and you're making that noise?
Yeah, I find it helps me because
So it found whimpering helps
whimpering
you run.
really does.
Hey guys, just want to let you know if there's something if there's any tips you'd like to take out from today, is if you run a lot, whimper halfway through. It will help you apparently.
But oh man, my feet were killing me, my knees were killing me. Oh, everything. There's muscles that are like rebelling. I didn't even know I had them. I didn't even know you existed, mate, and you're giving me a hard time here. It was
Well, so you started doing this thing. We've not spoken about me saying this, so I'm
no.
I'm just gonna plow on.
No.
So he's basically been doing so he's got that roll thing. What's it called? Oh, I need
foam
help.
roller.
Yeah, foam roller.
Right, yeah.
And he's been doing it on his calves. And
Yeah.
again, he is still making those weird noises whilst obviously he's rolling his calves out.
Yeah.
But he's got so into it, so he's got like a bit of a routine. And it's just the weirdest thing in the world. So he has to do like 20 minutes of stretches before, which obviously is a very good thing.
Yeah.
But you find him in a random room somewhere stretching to a YouTube video of him teaching how to stretch.
Yeah.
And then he'll come in. And so what he's also done as well is that, he stretches beforehand, but he doesn't do it afterwards. What he does afterwards, he'll do a run and then he'll come back in and he basically just sits and watches TV for half an hour.
Yeah.
While I was just slobbed on the sofa.
Because I'm absolutely knackered, mate.
Yeah, but shouldn't you be warming down your muscles and getting in a shower or something?
Expert over here.
Rather than sitting and watching Netflix for half an hour.
It's not Netflix. I like to watch a little bit of sport because I like to see another man suffer just like I have. So it's good, yeah. I think that's probably the end of that.
Yeah, no, okay, cool. Let's move on from
I think
that.
the last thing we need to say is...
So we were thinking about some stuff obviously to speak about in this podcast, and funnily enough, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was something that actually happened on the way up. So obviously we do recording this at Hospital Radio, and you've got to go through a lift.
Well, not through a lift.
Through a lift, up a lift.
Weird. Yeah.
On obviously the way in.
In a lift.
Yeah, no, right. I've not done brilliantly on my grammar there, but thanks for getting to that.
Through a lift. Great.
Yeah, cheers. So obviously you have to go in a lift up to the studio basically, and you were standing in the corner, shivering a little bit, weren't you?
I don't like lifts, mate. I don't. Honestly, I've got a bit of an irrational fear when it comes to lifts. It's like I just don't like them because every move they make, you think, oh, any second we're stuck here.
But they're like tried and tested. Like they've been around for ages. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like they're going to start.
Oh, that doesn't make any difference, does it? Tried and flipping tested. I'm terrified that.
Well, no, they're not going to put in something that is going to get stuck. Sure.
Every time I go in a lift, I'm looking to think I'm stuck with these people, probably for 40.
Right. Well, that's hurt because I was in the lift.
Exactly. If there's one thing worse than talking to you for an hour on this stupid thing, it's like being stuck in a lift with you.
Right,
Right, good.
Like Father, like Son, lift version. I think it might take off. So yeah, obviously in his little Scottish accent. Oh, it's this bit, Jordan. It's
you know that bit with your stomach, goes.
Oh, I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
Do you know what I mean? Though?
Get
the
us off
stomach
it.
bit.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's like being in a car when you go over a hump.
Is it? It's different because in a car you've got an engine and you're moving forward. It's not a lot of similarities.
It's the same feeling.
It's a steering wheel in a car. I've not seen one of them in a lift.
Good,
exactly. Great. Similar. Good. Brilliant. Keep
it's
going.
the same feeling. It's not the same. Obviously, not the same.
It is not the same.
It's the same feeling. Right. Okay. I think
feeling in a lift is feeling like I'm trapped here for the rest of my life. I'm literally
right. That's a problem that you obviously need to work through because you're not going to get stuck in a lift. And the worst thing that's going to happen, you press the little bell, and then someone's going to go ding no or whatever, and it goes, oh yeah, hey mate, I'm stuck in a lift.
Yeah, they will come 2 days after you rang the bell.
No, they won't. They'll come 20 minutes if like maximum.
No, mate. trust me. I mean, listen.
Have you ever actually been stuck in a lift?
No. But
So you've got a fear of something that's
Right.
never happened to you.
I'm glad you brought the fear thing up because it's true. This is not just for the podcast. I genuinely am scared of lifts. I've gone upstairs before because I didn't want to go in the lift.
Yeah, so we went to Australia.
All right.
And we went up their tallest building in Gold
Oh, yeah,
Coast.
that was a bit ridiculous.
It takes, what is it, like 60 stories high?
Yeah.
And then he just, so he goes up, didn't enjoy it, obviously, but it takes like literally a minute. It's like one of the fastest elevators in the world or whatever. And so they're obviously, you know, very high speed. Obviously, it feels a bit weird, but obviously you're getting up there very quickly and it's fine. Gets off. We go around, have obviously the sunset's coming down, very beautiful, looking across the Gold Coast. Lovely. And Lovely, mate. So, yeah, obviously we get to the end of our time. We go, oh, do you know what? We're going to come back down. Now, all I turn around to see is a girl sweeping up. Doesn't even look like she really works there. She looks more like she works for the restaurant in the actual, tower. And excuse me, love, do you know if there's any stairs down? How long would that take?
Was there an Irish guy there? Like,
no, that's a good Scottish accent. You know it. How many stairs is there to go down? It's just that I didn't like lifts.
She looked at me.
And she just was like, there's only like, I can't do the...
No, you can't.
I need to stop with that one.
Yeah.
But she just looked at you like, you're an idiot. Just
she
get in the
did.
lift.
She
It
did.
takes a minute.
Yeah,
it
she
literally
did.
takes a minute.
She did not have compassion for my syndrome.
No,
she really did.
She really didn't.
But I'm glad you brought Australia up and the whole thing about fears because somebody got a little bit scared. Somebody got a little bit scared. Do you want to maybe tell us what happened?
Oh, right, so I need to explain myself. So basically...
Oh.
So obviously we go to Australia, very nice place. Obviously there's a lot of insects there that let's leave it can kill you.
That is true. In Australia,
There's a lot of things that will
in
kill
Britain,
you.
things will give you a nasty rash.
Exactly. Australia,
They'll kill you.
they'll kill you. And so obviously they're a bit like, oh, you're not going to really see any snakes unless you kind of go into the bush or whatever. And we were like, oh, okay, cool. But they said there's 3 spiders basically. One's a white back, a red back, and there's one called a huntsman. Now, a huntsman is absolutely massive, but can't actually hurt you.
Mate, you're not David Attenborough. Get on with it. Do you know what I mean? No one's bothered about what the flipping name of the spider
This
is.
is Planet Earth 3, the Australia
I know
edition.
David's getting on a bit, and you're thinking, oh, maybe
here
there's
we
a
have
job there for me.
A huntsman.
Oh, that's you do that again.
A huntsman.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? So the huntsman basically can't hurt you, but the redback and the whiteback can kill you, but they're a bit smaller. Anyway, so obviously we spoke to the people who were staying at there. Cool. They were like, yeah, that's the deal. If you see those spiders, just, run. So we were like, okay, ha ha ha. Anyway, Dad, you and Mum had gone out, and so had the people we're staying with. They'd gone out. So it was me and my sister kind of in the house on our own, basically. And we decided that we were going to go in the hot tub because we were like, yeah, cool. Why not? So we're going out, cool. And we took this cover off. And we're a bit sort of like, ha, 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 ha. And basically there was just a massive spider that was just walking along the side of the tub, basically. And I thought it had some white on its back. So I obviously went, that's a white back. And obviously ran. And then we went back upstairs to put clothes on so it couldn't, if it did get our skin, it would hurt us.
A baby.
And then basically, me and Kezia basically spent the next 20 to 25 minutes having to put the sort of cover back onto the hot tub because we didn't want to just leave it off because that made us look really bad. But honestly, I'm not joking. It was the biggest spider I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
The size of my face.
Right, what a load of bobbins.
Times 2.
I saw it. And
no, you didn't.
You took a picture, and I saw the picture.
Yeah,
and
all right,
did
okay.
not look the size of your face.
The picture didn't do it justice. It was massive. It was. It literally was as big as my face. It could have killed me.
Yeah,
I could have died.
Mind you, I am saying that I'd rather have spiders crawl across my face than go in a lift in a Premier Inn. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think I maybe lose that one. It's a bit irrational fear.
So if you were on I'm a Celeb, you'd literally would say. So I'm guessing that they say to the people, "What's your worst fear?"
Oh yeah.
So I'd be
them.
like snakes or spiders.
Yeah, don't tell them what
You'd be like lifts.
I've never understood that. They say, "Oh, I'm scared of spiders." Guess what's coming your way? I would tell them, "I am scared of sitting by a fire."
You could have just said chocolate. You could have said something that everyone knows is nice.
No, but
and
they
you've gone
sit by
for
a fire,
round the
don't they?
kaya.
Sit round the kaya. That's a traditional Australian thing.
Yeah.
Round the kaya.
Yeah, brilliant.
Good.
I can't talk today. I don't know what it is. But so I mean, that's what that. So lifts.
Yeah,
you're not a big fan of the lifts.
So we're moving on to our sports section now.
Okay.
Because I'm fed up with the lift chat, to be honest. I mean,
got
they're
bored.
boring when you're in them. I mean, we're chatting about them for hours.
Dun,
It's
dun,
like,
dun.
what's your favourite lift? Where would you say, which part of the world would you say your favourite lift's in? Right, so I wanted to chat about something that happened in the sports world.
I feel like we need a jingle. Dun, 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 sports section.
Right.
Don't know why that went a bit Chinese actually, but came out a bit weird. I'm going to be honest.
We've got to chat about Chinese sports.
Dun, dun, dun. I don't know.
Table
I've got
tennis. They're good at table tennis,
Yeah.
Chinese guys.
Yeah, no, good.
So I know, I was trying to help you, mate. I was trying to help you. So no, I wanted to chat about this because just at the weekend there was a spitting incident.
Okay.
And in one of the footy games, it was actually a West Ham player, and he spat on the opponent. And it's an absolute outcry. And I mean, don't get me wrong, spitting is bad. We're not, this is not the podcast that says, listen, we are pro spitting. But what I think, I don't know why I did that in that particular strong Scottish accent, we are pro spitting. Yeah.
Okay.
We do not want to be
Okay.
in the union, but we do like spitting. So what I want to say is, I don't.
What was that? What was that?
That's a little bit of politics. So the thing is, what I do want to say though is, what an outcry. And it's like, I find it quite interesting because people are really, are you absolutely horrified by spitting? Would you put it in like,
Well, it's pretty disgusting, isn't it?
yeah, but
like-
is it really in the bottom three things that man can do? I mean, is it really just to that degree of disgusting?
Potentially. Like, that is your saliva
Yeah.
going on someone else.
I know.
Like, that is just disgusting.
No, I
And
do.
like, it's also that thing as well, is that why is it you're annoyed at someone, so you're gonna like spit on them?
It is
like,
a
it just is.
funny reaction, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever. Have you ever? Oh, this is confession time. Have you,
Let's not use that for a jingle.
have you ever spat on anyone?
No, I don't.
Not in your whole life.
Not that I can remember. I've got a horrible feeling now that someone might listen to this going, yeah.
Yeah, I've not
Um,
wiped it off my face. No, I've never spat on someone, but I have had someone spit right in my face.
Seriously.
Yeah, and honestly, it's really degrading. It's humiliating as the person who is receiving the garbage. Do you know what I mean? There's something about it that's like, it's not just, because obviously it's not painful, yeah, unless they're spitting a nail.
Yeah.
Oh, that shouldn't have made me laugh as much as that.
That actually has just.
Spitting a nail. Oh, that hurt. But actually, it's
Okay.
just the humiliating part of it. I think there's something about it in there. Because the football authorities have gone nuts about this. They're really angry about
Yeah,
it.
I don't think I've ever been spat in the face. Again, I can't. It's probably one of those things as well. If it has happened to me, I've probably really tried to move on from it, mentally and physically and emotionally. But I can't remember that happening in my life. Was he just a guy at school that just didn't like
It was
you?
at school, yeah. No. And I can remember it. Because there's quite a crowd gathered. And like, I don't want to sound like this guy was a bit of a monster. He was a bit of an idiot. And he was doing
A school
something.
bully.
Yeah, and he was doing something pretty bad. And when I was young, I was like, oh,
Excuse me,
why?
guys.
Why
Have you
immediately do
got
I-
a permit for that?
Why
Excuse me,
immediately
kid.
do I have to have like a kind of wimpy voice? Excuse me. Do you want to stop doing that?
That
No.
was you when you were 14,
No,
though.
right. My voice broke when I was 29. Yeah?
Right, great.
But I did say to this guy, listen, stop doing that. And everybody there was quite a big crowd, and this guy just spat right in my face. I mean, this would be an amazing story if I said, oh, you might have spat in my face, but... And then said something really unbelievably wise, or kind of come back at him with some amazing report. But no, it was just literally me wiping it off my face and
Good.
everybody killing themselves. I mean, I can remember
Well, it
just
serves you
looking
right,
around.
doesn't it? Excuse me, lads. Have you got? Can you stop do it? Can you didn't not do that?
Can you not do
Didn't
that?
not do that?
Right.
Can you never bother? Eh?
No, so I mean, what my point was before, the sports section slightly got sidelined,
Sideswiped.
but no, I mean, it's interesting because you see some really bad tackles that, you know, could really break
Break a
someone's leg. Yeah. And people are like, oh, that's... it's
Yeah,
not-
but the thing is that tackling is part of the game, whereas spitting isn't. There's no point. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not if you spit on someone's face, you get 2 points or something like that. It doesn't work like that.
Maybe
I
we
think
should-
it is probably one of the worst things.
Do you think we should maybe make a call out? If you're listening to this and you've been spat on, do you want to get in touch? This is a spitting hotline. They've changed this podcast.
I think we would get some seriously weird stuff, and I don't want it. I don't want it.
Don't want that
I
in
don't
my
want to
life.
be the guy that's, hey mate, yeah, no, sure, we'll speak through that in the next podcast.
Good.
Okay, right. I think we should move on from spitting.
Well, I have got my motivate.
Back by popular demand.
People loved it. People loved it. You abused it, but people.
I think I'm
loved
the only one that didn't like it. But I mean,
Exactly.
if people want what people want, no, that's really not the
Is
same.
that your motivational speech?
People want
what people want that people want. You remember that, kids out there?
Give the people what they want.
want.
That's what I
you
meant
were
to
after.
say.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say, and I shammed it. So
No, so I've got one. So my dad motivational speech of the day,
okay.
yeah, is, hey, Jordan, why not tidy your room? No, it's not. That would be-
Yes, it's been needing to be done. Cheers.
No, my motivational quote of the day is this: to follow without halt that... Oh, I've screwed up. I've screwed up. That's my motivational speech of the day. I've screwed it up, yeah.
What
As
even was that?
Right, here it is. You ready?
Okay.
Sorry.
Do you want to? Sorry, round 2, guys, because the motivational guy, Gandhi, never did this. Oh, sorry, guys, I've messed
Martin
up.
Luther King.
Yeah.
I have a...
What's the next bit?
Great motivational talks that went slightly wrong.
Right. So
I
are you
have
gonna
a nap.
are you
I
gonna
have
give
a
this?
doze. Martin Luther King. I have a... Come on, what's that thing? You do loads of
it
Z's. You
said-
put your head
no.
down. What's it called again? I have a dream. No. here
Anyway,
it is.
round 2. Let's
Here
go.
it is. To follow without halt one aim, that is the secret of success. Eh?
What?
To follow.
Is this? I didn't know I was
What's wrong?
watching Shakespeare.
It's not Shakespearean, donut.
That sounds Shakespearean.
No, to follow without halt one aim, that is the secret of success.
I know 155%. I'm gonna get called an absolute idiot, but I don't get it. I literally don't get
You're
it.
not even joking. This is embarrassing.
With one halt
right? No,
to
what?
one aim.
What? Halt. HALT, mate. Halt.
Yeah.
As in, stop. Oh,
Yeah.
he's... Oh,
Halt.
listeners, he's got the look on his face of a man who has not done well at school.
Wow.
To follow without halt one aim, that is the secret of success.
Well, if this has spoken to you, please get in touch. Just explain it to me would be great. I hope someone out there's taken a lot from that.
Oh, next podcast it's going to be things like always look around when you're crossing the road. It's got to be something so simple for you, innit? Yeah? Always flush the toilet when you've been for a wee. That's going to be the motivational.
Oh, okay. Well, I've not got it, so that's great. Anyway. We need to wrap up. It's been way too long. But if you've enjoyed this podcast, we obviously do have another one out. We have Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. They're all at LFLS Podcast. Obviously, that stands for Like Father, Like Son. We also have YouTube, and it is also out on iTunes now. So please go subscribe to those. Go check it out. Tell your mates about it. And anything else you'd like to say, or just goodbye?
To follow without
Right, okay. This is us. Goodbye. Thanks very much for listening.
Bye.